It's 7 o'clock. We do have a quorum. Would everybody please stand, and Kip will lead us in the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please turn off your electronic leashes, or at least turn it down. I make a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
I'll second that.
It's open for discussion. No discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously.
Good to see you.
Financial report.
Our total went up 1.8. We've got our receivable count went down by a couple $100,000. It was actually 750 last month. Plus the 550.
Can you speak up, please?
Our total account went up slightly. Account receivable went down by a couple $100,000. It was, so we've still got $546,000, that people haven't paid for the lots, but it was $750 last month. So in the 1 month, quite a bit happened, and our total bank accounts went up a little bit. So we're at 1.8 million.
Any checks?
No, I don't think there's anything really worth talking about. It's just good that
All right. I move that we approve the financial report. I'll second it. Okay, Dave, second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. I want to clarify something, just so everybody understands. When we vote and it's a vote with aye, and then I ask for opposing same sign, if somebody answers aye after I've asked that, then we go back to a vote where you indicate the individual by raising your hand. So it's to make sure that we incorporate any dissension. So I just want to make sure that you understand that it's not yes for both. AEC committee report.
Sure. Well, we just continue to have a lot of projects in Braintree, new homes, improvements, fences, all kinds of things. We continue to work through the spreadsheet and some of the old projects that have been going on for a couple, 3 years, but we're working them down and we're getting people paid back. Unfortunately, when we got the money from city and village, it just came in a bundle. They didn't say, okay, this person paid this, so oftentimes we have to go through it and even ask for canceled checks before we can pay somebody back or go to the bank, etc. But we're getting there, and it's an arduous process, but we're getting there. The other thing is at the last meeting, the discussion came up about the $10,000 surcharge for homes being built, and there was a lot of concern about, okay, what does this mean? I mean, there's not a lot of information about it, and we'd like to know more. The committee as a whole felt strongly that we should pump the brakes and use some caution about going forward with this, because while it may have some money up front, it's going to be, we feel it might be quite detrimental to the community long term. But data is, we need data. We don't have any data, we don't have any knowledge of what else is involved in it, etc. And so we'd like to see some of that. The committee would like to really.
Okay, well, the decision was it would be just for homes that were built by developers that did not have a current owner in place.
Well, they
A
own,
spec home,
but the developer owns the property.
but they're not going to live there.
How do you know? So if they don't move into it,
Then they pay the money.
and if they do move into it,
And
we don't
I
pay.
don't have.
And if somebody comes and buys their home before the year is up, you're gonna go back and tell them, okay, you know what's $10,000 now?
Are they gonna live in it?
What's that? Yeah, they are living in it, but if somebody comes and offers you a bunch of money to buy your house, you're gonna sell your house. Well, anybody who,
We would have to look at that on an individual basis. If it starts happening, then the whole idea was that we wanted to try to recoup some funds when developers come in and build a house on an unpaved road. Because then we have to.
so it's only on unpaved roads?
No, it would be on any spec house. And a spec house, there's a long definition of what a spec house is in the writing.
Interesting. Well, the committee as a whole felt very strongly, and I know your answer is, well, don't vote for it, and then out there, but we just would like to get a whole lot more information for something that impacts the community this significantly, especially long term. That's all I have.
Okay. Roads report.
Okay, so on roads, we did some work about 30 days ago on Ridgecrest, Cedar, Willow, and Sycamore, I believe. And next month, or the middle of September, St. Louis Asphalt's going to come in and also continue on and team up with KB. And so we'll have 2 road contractors in here doing a lot of work in September. So roughly, I'll be asking next month for probably another 100 grand. But the stuff that's going to be happening in September will be another 100 grand as well that's already allocated for the roads. And so hopefully we can get the bad roads fixed up, and also included in that is the residents that bought up the cul-de-sac and the 6 lots, and we owe him a road within a year of the construction of his house. So that'll be on that project as well. As long as everything's executed as good as it is in the right direction.
So just a thought about that, what are we gonna use for specs for building that road? Because, you know, we're going through all these bad roads right now and saying that the builders are tearing them up and whatnot.
So the specs,
What specs are we gonna use?
specs are going county road specs, which is 8 inches of base and 4 inches of asphalt. So the spots, almost all the spots that are drastically tore up, most of them have mud coming through, and that is a sign that the base was not there and properly put in from day one. That mud showing immediately is the sign, and that is where most of them are.
Well, just the
failing.
alligator alone, the alligator shows that it doesn't have an adequate base. And that's what most of our roads are.
Yeah, that is correct, and in long term, there will be a substantial amount going into our roads over the next 10 years, and that's why we pretty much trimmed every spot we can in getting ready for this lump sum going into roads. And we need it.
So going forward, we'll take all the roads to county spec.
Correct. Any portion that's being redone, that's failing, will be full depth repair at this point, unless you guys tell us otherwise, but at this point, especially spots that are showing mud that are proven that there is no base under it, and it was not spec'd out in the first place, will be getting inspected. That's all I got on roads at this point.
Lakes and beaches.
Well, we've been busy with the food trucks, but people are complaining about back in the coves. We've got grass carp, they're growing large. The majority of the lake is weed free. I mean, if you're out in the middle and on the sides, but if you go back in the coves, it's really bad. And it just takes a couple of years for the grass carp to go through. I've got a company coming in on the 26th of August to do an evaluation for us, and they do different kinds of things, not chemicals. They actually take some out, they tell you what you need to do, and if anybody wants to be present, then I'd be happy to have them for that meeting with that guy, and it will be on the lake. And then other than lakes and beaches, where today we signed with a contractor to work on the winter summer dam. They're gonna come in there and they're gonna bring a track hole and they're gonna bring rock. They're gonna harvest out of the lake what they can and pull back up where it needs to go. And then we've got some scalding on the hot concrete. It has to be cut out and replaced. And it needs a 4-inch lip put up on both sides of the spillway. And that's in the process of gonna be done. That's in motion and it should happen.
And that will be going back to the specs of the original design that was stamped and approved on, unless DNR says otherwise.
And then otherwise on lakes and beaches, while the water's down, on Spring Lake, we have the spillway inside. We've got some cracks, and when the state was here, they said we need to sand them down and put a polyurethane, put some kind of polyurethane. They'll give us the information, I have it. But it's a certain kind of chemical you mix and you put in the cracks. And we can do it or we can hire it out, but it needs to be done this year or next year. They gave us 2 years to do it.
I'm sorry. Oh, jeez.
Keep going, Frank.
Sorry about that.
Another thing with lakes and beaches, I don't know if it was past practice, I've had people saying you're not supposed to park on the grass by the boat ramps. That's overflow parking, they've done it for years, and I don't believe I've got people saying, oh, they're not allowed to park there. Enforce the rule, and I'm like, well, where do you want them to park? The pavilion? We was down to 2 parking spots Saturday with just boats and cars, and you have to park on the grass down there. So I just wanted to throw that out there. So maybe the rule book says don't park on the grass, but if they don't, I don't know where they're going to park.
Has any of it died from parking on it?
No. Okay. Well, that'll be it for lakes and beaches for now.
Okay. Technology and security.
Technology infrastructure rebuild is currently in progress. We got a P&S committee meeting and we begin talking about a conferencing solution and doing some due diligence there. We also spoke with Dan on investigating how we can enhance the connectivity between all the cameras to alleviate some of the bandwidth saturation, so it's a little bit quicker. It might also expand our capacity on adding more cameras across that link, so more information to come on that. The rest of the projects are moving along. That's all I've got from that perspective. Do we have anything on the security side?
It's been pretty peaceful. We haven't had no trespassers. We've got numbers and codes cut down pretty good. Has been no trash in the morning. I know we got one trash fairy that walks through with a bag at 5 o'clock in the morning. And she picks up stuff. As far as that goes, everything's been good there.
Peaceful and home something.
Didn't you?
Okay, I'll take that back. We've had a broken gate and we collected for a golf court. Flipped the gate. He was messing around and didn't do it right. And so he ended up paying for that. I collected a fine on that and I had another one in the back where they pushed through it. We went from the nylon nuts to a steel nut to where now they just don't fall off. And when they knock them off, it actually rips it, but we put a washer back in there and it works.
That doesn't need problems with pressure on the
No, it just pushes right through it. It saves about 5 hours a week, because in the past, looking at the records, and what we were doing, these washers have to be tightened every day. The gate opens 1,500 times a day,
Yeah.
and they just fall off, and they fell off on a BMW. And so we decided, let's try a different method, and it's working. And it's saving quite a bit of money every week by not having 5 hours a week tightening gates like we've done in the past years.
I had Mindy ask me a question. She said somebody was complaining about a motorcycle that went around the side. I told her I do it because it's a pain in the ass for me to dig into my pocket and stop the badge in. So there's no rule about that.
No. Yeah, I had a complaint the other day, and they were homeowners. Someone said 2 motorcycles slid through, and I went back to the camera, looked at it, and then looked at Flock and said, yeah, they live here, but they just slid through. But we do have a problem with motorcycles on the exit gate, because when they pull up, sometimes if they're not heavy enough, it don't open.
Yeah.
And that's what broke it the last time, and I didn't pursue the fine, because he was trying to get around it, and his taillight hit it.
Yep.
And I mean, it was everybody. It wasn't our fault. It wasn't his fault. It was our fault. They didn't know.
Yeah.
So okay.
I told Mindy that I wouldn't worry about it. if they live here, we can double check and validate.
And Flock gets them, so if they do something, we got them.
Okay, that's all I have.
Okay. Maintenance report.
Well, we've been busy, and hope people's noticed, we've been trimming trees and picking up just debris and going through the thing. John, our contractor, he's doing an excellent job mowing the grass, and John and Paul, our maintenance guys, they mow the beach and the pavilion and other spots and trimming trees. And we're still taking requests for any kind of tree trim that needs to be done. And then we put on maintenance, we put a guardrail across the bottom lake spillway. There was just chain link there before, and it was very dangerous. It was rusted out. So we had a guardrail put in there. That was one thing we did last month. And then we're planning on, there's not trash, but there's big piles of dirt that in the past that Braintree hauled down by the shop. I think we're going to clean that up and plant grass and make that a nice area. A lot of people bring their dogs and stuff, so we're going to clean that area up. That's on the foreseen future in the next few weeks. Other than that, we're trying to move forward. We're happy to take requests. If anybody sees a spot or has something, speak up. And if it don't happen first time, speak up again. Because sometimes they get overlooked. And that's it.
Okay. We have old business, unapproved project center.
That's fine. So if you remember last month, I brought a case here, a situation here where someone approached or petitioned the ACC, had a permit request to do a retaining wall, and they did, but then they also did some concrete flat work and some decking, which was not approved or even reviewed. It wasn't even requested of the ACC. I brought it after I had contacted him and told him that, the simplest thing is to go ahead and approve or apply and write us a check for the deposit, etc. He refused to, so I brought it here. I wanted the backing of the board. I wanted the board. And my impression was from that discussion that everyone felt that he should still pay the deposit. I responded to him since after the last meeting. I haven't heard back, so I'd like to make a motion that we censure him for the amount of the deposits.
Okay, I will speak with Mindy. In addition to that, Mindy has sent out 14 letters to various individuals indicating they are in violations, and if they don't correct it, they will be charged censures. So we're finally getting that to work better. So if you send me the information.
I see this a little different, though. I'm just
I
saying,
understand.
I'm going to make a motion, hopefully get seconded and voted on, that we censure this gentleman for his unapproved activity, because I think there's a lot of that happens, and we don't want to be the ACC police, but I'm obligated, everyone on the board is, if you see an infraction, you are obligated to report it
Right.
and move forward with it. So I'm asking for a second and a vote to approve.
I will second your motion. Any further discussion?
What will the total be? No matter if it's.
It'll be $750.
Okay.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. So we have sent out a bunch of letters, and we will follow them up with censure letters and find people that don't correct the issues that they've been notified on. Mindy does drive through the community on a weekly basis and will bring in information to the board to evaluate, and we're putting together a process for better evaluation after she brings them in. Unfortunately, we're getting a little late start, but we're starting to move forward with it. Any additional old business? New business. I'm going to start with kind of a rant. I have asked many times, and I had a couple of open meetings asking people to bring ideas and projects to help get our lot owners more involved and willing to stay and pay their assessments, And we tried to put something on the ballot, and apparently everybody wants to tar and feather me, which is fine. But we really do need to find out something that will entice our lot owners to stay and pay. We have about 400 some lot owners that have already turned their lots into the county. We get nothing from that. We have almost 1,000 lot owners that are between 60 and 90 days behind on their assessments. And that is almost $400,000 that we are not getting. So if this continues, this will become a community of a few houses with a bunch of lots that the county owns, and we're not going to have enough money to do the minimum of taking care of the community. So I implore you to think of anything that might help entice the lot owners to be willing to pay their assessment plus the country club dues and remain viable within the community. Because if we don't, long term, this is going to be a disaster for us. Grant finished.
New business?
New business.
I got new business. When we voted and looked at to put that proposal on for a motorhome or store car, it said garage on it. And I thought, me and several other people, oh, a garage, they'll build a nice one. And then the county or the lawyer nicked it off, and it went to the ballot, and I want to ask to revote to take that off and put an X through the storage lot and the camper and everything until we revalue it. I know we're in money trouble, but that's not the way to get money. We've got property to make a storage facility down below the Springway. I'm asking to do that because we've got rules. If we would enforce our trailer rule, we can pay for our storage facility, and it will be a co-op. Nobody from outside of Raintree can use it. You have to own a lot or a house, and it'll be at a discounted price, so everybody can go there. I checked in Hillsborough. It was $62.
Stop.
Okay, stop.
No, it's all right.
Okay.
Make your motion, let's
Okay.
deal with the motion, then you can
Do one
explain.
thing at a time. I make a motion that we retake a vote for the ballot item, taking the cars, storage lockers, or the storage unit, not unit, but motorhome storage and cars off the ballot. We'll have to put an X on it because the papers already went out.
Okay, are you wanting to remove the entire,
Remove the entire
okay,
thing.
remove that entire
Yes.
ballot item
Item,
that
item.
deals with lots?
Yes, and I'm looking for a second.
What number is it?
Second that.
Okay, discussion?
I think it's five. It's five.
Please.
Ballot item 5. But we're gonna need money.
Board discussion?
I don't know if it's the right thing or the wrong thing, but taking it off goes against exactly what you said. I mean, if there's 1,000 lots in our paying, there's 400 some the county owns, you know,
It's almost half of our lots,
That's a
so.
lot, that's, you know, and, I mean, it's clearly the lot owners that aren't paying, so what's wrong with the lots out here? And is it that the stuff's too restricted? You know, I mean, because I look at it like this after going through this thing. If you have to put an asphalt or concrete driveway in it, to park anything there, that's thousands of dollars. It's not cheap. So I don't think we're gonna get Cousin Eddie bringing his RV down here. But it means that we have to enforce this stuff to get it off.
How would that be enforced? So if somebody, you can have your camper here, but you can't use it here, so people would come down on the weekends? I mean, are we just gonna have plot neighbors against neighbors and say, I know that if somebody was in that camper, and then they say, well, prove it, well, we're gonna take video? I mean, you're setting people up for failure by doing that.
You could have this happen right in your neighbor's driveway next to you too.
Right.
So, you know, it doesn't, you know, this ballot item doesn't one way or the other. And, you it was put there to try to address exactly what you.
My issue is,
I'm not
the
saying that.
issue is that it was worded different when we voted on it. It was a home, oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, it was.
I was still talking.
Oh, I didn't realize it was a garage. The wording's changed
Right.
from when we voted on it to what it went to. And I was doing it on the technicality. I'm sorry, we need money. The country club put us there.
Any more discussion?
How did the country club put us in?
Same time.
We haven't had an assessment increase in how many years, and you're saying the country club put us in trouble?
Well,
I wasn't here then, so I'd like to hear this.
Okay. I want to stay focused on the
Let's make a
motion
vote.
that's out
Get
until
it
we
off the
vote.
ballot.
Then we can have this other discussion. Is there any other discussion on the motion that is before us? It has been moved and seconded
To remove the ballot item, I believe.
to remove the ballot in total. All those in,
I'm conflicted here. I think that it makes sense to come up with a commensurate medium to allow a little bit more flexibility on these lots without turning it into a trailer park or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what that is. You know, me personally, I would love to have a smaller patio on my lot next door that's not yet going. Just to put a picnic table and something small for me and my family. Not put a driveway to park a 30-foot camper.
I know it's too late for this year's election, but this is the kind of discussion I think we ought to have about each individual ballot item long before we write them up in front of the Lord. An email conversation is not the same as sitting around a table going, well, there's this and well, there's that. That,
I would like
that's how
to see
we
this
should
come back, whether I'm here or not. I agree with, let's remove it for now, but let's not let that go. Because I think there's some value for the lot owners and for us. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I just think it needs to be vetted and thought about.
Yeah.
There's a lot of opinions around here. Let's spend some time thinking about this rather than just say, let's put it on that ballot or let's remove it.
okay, let's go ahead and vote then. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Now,
Wait, I didn't see, did they raise you?
No.
nobody said aye, so they either abstained or... All those in favor signify by raising your hand.
To move on.
6 votes for, so it carries. So, having the response that we just had on ballot items, I would like to suggest that if you have something that you would like to see on the ballot in the next election, not this one, start putting it together. So we have time. We asked for ballot items. I got very few until the last minute this year. There is no reason why you can't start thinking about things to be on the ballot. Also, I'm reiterating my plea for anything that somebody can come up with that will help us get some response from the lot owners. The lot owners are the ones that have been paying and still pay our bills. And we're already at about 50% of those lot owners that aren't paying our bills. So if you want something on the ballot, start putting it together and then we can have discussions on it throughout the year, which makes a lot more sense than trying to put it all together at the end of summer when everybody's busy. So that is my plea to everybody, that if you have something that you want addressed, then bring it to the board, let us discuss it, and give us some time to determine all the things that will interfere with that. I am personally a believer that we should vote on all the different changes that are put in place. And I know people don't want to vote on things because they don't trust their neighbor to vote the same way that they're going to vote. But this community is a community of people, and we all have a voice, and we all need to be able to use that voice. And I'll get off my rant again. Meet the candidates will be on September the 4th.
Are we gonna skip over my?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I'm quite confused really because of some of the things that were just said. Like you said, I'm confused, you said you're confused. I am too because, last month you came and you said that you bought a piece of ground from somebody else and CPM brought all these charges to the closing, and I said, whoa, that can't be right. And so I asked, and guess what? All those charges were made by the buyer's title, the seller's title company. They weren't made by CPM at all. I asked specifically because I really advocated for us going to an electronic management company, which I think has been the greatest thing that we've done. I also keep hearing that, boy, we have all kinds of money. Cal, in the last month's minutes, it says that we're way ahead of where we were last year. You just said we have all kinds of money, we're spending less money, and I mean, when we signed with CPM, we were gonna go from, and I think you called it an apples to apples comparison, Dave, right? If you look apples to apples, CPM to what we were spending in that office, we are actually saving money. So I keep hearing, well, why is CPM costing us so much money? And I don't think they are. So what I would like is, has anybody done an apples to apples comparison? And I'm not talking about salaries, I'm just talking about operating this $1 million business to see if we are actually spending less money or more money, number one, and what are the advantages, the indirect or uncalculable advantages of being integrated? I can tell you right now, we go through this thing and we have to go back to QuickBooks and then we have to go to another system and we have to see if this bank, in any new project, we just go in and we say, okay, it's right here. As soon as it's entered into your account, it goes throughout CPM everywhere and instantly. And so I just don't understand why. And then you say, well, the lawsuit cost us money. I wasn't here during, the golf course. I don't understand how the golf course cost us money. Because if you let that golf course go to nothing, guess what? Your home value, nobody's gonna want to come out here and pay assessments. And so can somebody explain to me, number one, how do we rate as far as cost of operating this business? And number two, how did the golf course cost us?
Can I answer that?
Can I jump in first?
No.
Because I wanted to understand that when I first came on. My first 90 days was, I want to try to understand everything. And I did a comprehensive cost analysis and that included salary, insurance, everything, to do a cost comparison. To do a comparative apples to apples in terms of services provided and services rendered. That is where it's weak, because we have to drive that more with them. But as far as cost, it is slightly less. There is a cost savings. But as far as services provided and the efficacy of those services, they're weak. But they are getting better the more that we drive them as a board.
But they're like a computer. They only do what we tell them to do. They don't just come in and say, I don't think any one of us would want them to manage our
Let me get to my next point.
we have to tell them what to do. And we didn't even meet with them for months after the new board was elected.
So there were several meetings. It needs to be better. And you're right, we do need to drive them. I absolutely
We have to
agree.
drive them.
Also, they were signed in August 19, 2024. How many weeks was that before the last election? Rhetorical question, we all know.
Right.
So they had X amount of time to get the data, right? We were hopping from city and village to this, so there was a huge issue there.
Right.
But what I have noticed is that since we've started coming together to drive them for our specific needs, like you drive them for what you need, I drive them for what I need, everybody else, so I'm starting to see improvements on those services. So to answer your question, so apples to apples in terms of cost comparison,
Right.
it is cheaper. Services, it's getting better. Should be reevaluated next year. That's my opinion on that. As far as the country club is concerned, when I bought this building, I was told, and it was in writing, that I didn't have to pay it. Then out of the blue, I was told, hey, you're gonna have to pay. Now I was pissed because I wanted that money to go to the POA. Me, I don't use it. I mean, they got a 4-foot kiddie pool, no weight room. They tried to be a 5-star restaurant in that first year of opening, which didn't work out well. Then they switched to a regular bar scene, which is fine. Don't even get me started.
So how did you get in writing that you don't have to pay country club dues?
It was in.
It was in my contract.
Yes, it was in my contract.
Wait, your contract was who?
When I bought my house, it was.
It was in the real estate
It was a
contract?
real estate contract, I didn't have to
So
pay.
who's?
I paid because it was not obligated to me to pay. It was not that much money, and I went ahead and, but it's open to the public. The public drives down Plantation Drive.
Right.
The country club owns Plantation Drive. They did when I bought here. And they're not maintaining that road.
So I still don't understand.
Let me do one.
Who told you that you didn't have to pay?
The real estate agent and my contractor.
We had a decent thing. It said if you didn't belong, it doesn't matter, it's over with.
But did you get that from the real?
No, we got it from the owner of the country club when we bought our piece of property. It said you have the right to belong, and if you don't pay, you lose the right.
But that
But it doesn't
It's done and
matter.
over with
Let's go
now.
on. Let me explain one thing real quick, man. You asked how the country club cost us money.
Yeah.
So a long time ago, this used to be a sales office here, and everybody would come in the front door, and there was a wheel that spun, and everybody won a prize to sell these lots. Everybody had financing that walked in, and then you walked out the back door with a salesman. And they financed, and this was a dream they sold. And most of the people never completed their dream, and they died, and they passed their lakefront lot on to their kids. And then their kids paid the bill, and then when it went to $600, they said, wow, we used to be $250, and now I'm paying $600. They call the real estate agent and say, let me list it, and they say, I don't list lots in Raintree because they're only worth $1,500 to $3,000, not on the lake. And so all them people let their lots go to the county and doesn't pay. That's what I mean the country club cost us. If you look at the letter that I wrote 10 years ago, it's spot on. But I'm not saying nothing bad about the country club, but majority of the lot owners inherited the property. They paid a little bit of money, and then when it went up, they quit paying a lumpy rate. Okay, I'm done.
I hadn't heard that.
No, I don't-
I think that's an interesting perspective.
I don't want to keep living in the past, but moving forward, but I do want to clarify something, Ken. Like, you kind of went on about the real estate transaction, even though I've done 100 of them with Hillsborough Title. They didn't order a condo cert from CPM. That was charged on there. But we'll go into that in a separate deal, and we'll go further into investigation on that, but it's not really, it's hard for me to believe that Hillsborough Title ordered that from CPM. But until it's proven, I can't tell you in black and white which way it was. But go ahead.
I just wanted to mention to Ken, I could actually show, anybody that wants to see it, I have a certificate signed by the owner of the country club that says, living in the section I'm in, I do not have to pay.
But
So why?
I do want to
Because it's
also,
recorded.
yeah, we do want to clarify something too. It was voted on, it's been through court a couple times, probably the third time now. There was $500,000 spent prior to the agreement being agreed upon, and I know that was another several $100,000 spent going back and flipping the other way. But there's sections, we all know for a fact that sections 22 through 25 dues went from $230 or whatever for the country club to almost $980 something. You know, there was a whole process of something. This is not the time to get into that, I don't
It
think.
doesn't matter. It's over with.
It's in the past. Let's move
I think we
forward.
need to move on. I do agree that we need to continue to map cost analysis. I will tell you that I, on many occasions, had meetings set up with Mindy and Bobby, and it was canceled by them, and I tried to get them rescheduled, and it has been very difficult. That goes along with what Dave was saying, that some things work well when it's in the computer system, other things we have to drive. I've had to drive a whole lot more with the things that I deal with than I did in the past. And that's probably enough on that. Meet the Candidates will be on September the 14th at 4 p.m. at the Pavilion, like last year. We'll have more information on that as we get closer.
I will be sending out emails to all the candidates, letting them know.
We need volunteers. Everybody raise your hand quickly. Not going to fall for that, okay. We need volunteers for the voting dates, and they are,
Start on the
I think it's the third week of September.
They start on the 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20, and 21.
we need 4 people on, was that Monday?
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
And Saturday is only 2 people, correct?
No. Tuesday. 2 shifts. 2 shifts. Yes, Saturday's only 2 people because it's from 10 to 2.
And then Sunday is only 2 people.
Right.
So
You will.
Tuesday through Friday, 4, Saturday and Sunday, 2.
And I have things I'm gonna give Haley tomorrow, and you can contact the office, and she can put your name down if you're willing to volunteer.
And all you have to do is sit at the table, take the person's driver's license, look them up, make sure that they're listed, mark them out that they voted. It's not really difficult, and would be really nice to get some volunteers.
Very good.
And Haley will be making phone calls probably. Mary Lou, I'm asking you. Haley will probably be making phone calls to get those people.
No, there's also going to be an e-blast that goes out on that.
Okay.
Scantron?
Sunday during the voting, we meet. Sunday after the voting, we'll tabulate the poll.
I know, but I'm getting us before people.
Okay. All right. Just want to make sure that we didn't overlook those.
No, I got a chart for that.
I'm out of town the week.
And I also have a chart, for the board members that have to be up there every day.
I'll be out of town the week of the board, of the voting, but I'll do anything and everything we do on Sunday.
Each day?
Oh, Sunday. I'm coming
I
back.
misunderstood.
I'm out of town. We have to move the trip around.
Oh,
Board members will need to be here all 5-6 days.
at least one board member has to be here during all the voting.
Board member and volunteer, you have 2 people.
2 volunteers. Yeah,
That's what I'm saying, board member.
next year, there'll be 3 people then.
Yeah, 3 people. Any additional new business?
The only thing you might want to mention, Jim, is that there is not a meeting on September 15th,
Okay.
which is a Monday, just because the meeting in September will be the day of the election.
So no meeting on the 15th, it'll be on the 21st.
At 1 o'clock.
And voting on Sunday is noon to 2.
Right.
Any additional new business? I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. This meeting is adjourned. Now, open forum is open, and I want to remind you
2 minutes.
that you have 2 minutes. And please do not abuse it.
Very quickly, do we need a parking sticker to go to meet the candidates at the pavilion.
That would raise a little money. It's only $10.
I got a tip in
You
there.
told us that before.
Yeah.
I would say no. I think that we can let that go. Lady in the floral plant.
You push that button.
We got 2 minutes, man, we got time.
Push that button. Since last month's Port POA board meeting, my husband and I have done quite a bit of research regarding the Missouri statute that allows utility vehicles to operate on highways. The statute indicates no person shall operate a utility vehicle upon a highway except those owned and operated by a governmental entity, those operated for agricultural purposes, and those operated by handicapped persons for short distances. It also allows municipalities and governing bodies of counties to issue their own ordinance. Jefferson County, Missouri prohibits all terrain vehicles on highways and roadways except for those same reasons. ATVs are specifically designed to be ridden off-road and are equipped with tires designed for off-road traction with deep, aggressive treads that can be harmful to smooth surfaces like asphalt. Operating an ATV on hard surface roadways affects the machine's handling and increases the likelihood of crashing. The election newsletters sent to all owners include several statements that are half-truths at best. Stating that it is now legal to operate these vehicles on county-lettered roads is false. Stating that it is difficult for the board to enforce rules that supersede county laws is also false. Stating the reason for ballot item 1 is that these types of vehicles are allowed on alphabetically named roads, county roads, is false. To infer that the state is considering a bill to allow these vehicles on roads statewide pretty much proves my point that they are not currently allowed. Otherwise, why would it be necessary for the legislature to consider it? Based on this information, I think the board has no alternative but to remove ballot item 1 from the ballot because they have provided all members of the My buzzer hadn't gone off. I had 5 seconds left. I can provide you with all of the
Your time is up. Thank you.
I can provide you with all the rules.
Ken, I have a question for Ken. Ken, now I'm on ACC, and I know we discussed merging, because it was the committee that came up with the ballot item to merge the property owner deposit for building a house and the builder's building. So we just kind of put that on, we've discussed that. But there's other issues on here on the ballot, you know, like spending the size of the garages, and then the $10,000 additional for spec homes. I know that kind of was touched on, but we never really discussed it. Did anybody bring that to you? Because I don't remember discussing it at ACC.
No, I mean, when the ballots came out, I mean, I first learned about them when the proposal came out. That's the first I heard of them.
I mean, wouldn't that
We
be,
didn't discuss it.
wouldn't that have been something that the ACC probably should have took a look at, maybe?
Probably would help to get the endorsement of the ACC, but
Or maybe work out some bugs, because there's always great ideas, but there's
discuss
some
the budget.
hang up.
I wish we were all ballot items, but yes.
So we could have increased the 8,500 to 10,000 and just made it even, because it's been $5,000 since I moved in 1996. So at $20-25, that's probably pretty close to 10 grand now. So, but the additional 10 grand, that would make it 18,500. I mean, I just don't think that's going to be helpful to. We got 25 houses at least going up right now, and I don't know how many more we're going to have coming in August. Or
That'd be $250,000.
Go to the roads.
They're all spec houses.
Yeah, there's just not that many people building spec homes in here, so it's
Well,
not,
then it won't be a problem.
it won't be because they'll put it in their own name and then you still won't get the money, so it's not a good idea. That's just my point. Sorry. I just wanted to ask Ken, because I know I wasn't involved with any of it, and I didn't think it came to our meeting.
2 topics. To your point about owners putting in potential ballot items. In the past, it had been requested, let's get started on it earlier in the year. We even in the past had town halls where we had people come together and we talked about what would you like to see changed, who wants to do a proposed ballot item. We helped those people write it up so that when it came to the board, it was at least on its way. So that's one item. The second thing, lot owners, you talked about, do we currently have 1,000 and only this many are paying? My question is, do we have history? Can we say back in this year we had this many and everybody was paying, and then this year this happened and this and this and this? I'd be curious to see a trend of how quickly people are releasing their lots to the courthouse. And did it coincide with a lot of it with the country club settlement?
Okay, good points.
Gentlemen
Gentleman in the back.
Did we lose a bunch of?
My name's Joe McMahon, I live in Rainier, and I have a couple of questions. The first one's a simple question. The ballot item number 3 that you just voted on, is it struck from the ballot or not?
Yes.
Okay, so everybody knows it's
Five. Sorry.
Well, it says 3 on mine, unless I can't see that.
No, this was fine. But I don't have Actually,
I
no,
apologize, I don't have my glasses on, but that's
Okay, so
5.
it's 5.
And it is struck from the,
Is that the last one?
yeah, okay, with
It
the
is?
concrete gravel.
Well, no, the whole lot. That's what's down here.
The other thing is a financial question for Callan. I noticed just recently that you opened a debit card and added a new account to our accounts. The debit card then was funded with $5,000 from the general operating fund. My question is, and I just looked at this month's statement, and it lists items that were purchased with that debit card, but it gives us no details of what those items are. It says no receipts and stuff of that nature.
That CPM, that all the receipts have been turned in, Dave Watson.
It doesn't matter, we need to know.
Right, and it is, and the ones that I did was paint, oil, and chemicals
You
from
can
the.
say that all you want, Scott, but we need to know.
Right, well, I tell Mindy that, you can see email where I email her receipts and then she doesn't do it.
My point is Callan needs to tell us in these meetings that they opened a new account with a debit card, and who controls that debit card, and how much money is going to be spent on that debit card.
Yep, we buy it.
The other questions I have is, we have $1.4 million of that's not making any money in our accounts. It's not collecting any money. We have 3 or 4 accounts.
Thumbs up, you can come back to it.
That's the answer every time.
I have 3 questions to start. First one, you said you had 14 censures that you just put out, that you were sending out. How many other censures since you all were elected for the last year you have?
None.
And why is that?
Most of the people we verbally talked to, and they straightened up their stuff, that when other residents said that another resident was out of line or complaint that was against them, we've had several people by just talking to them, they cleaned their stuff up.
Okay, well, I drive around there and I see multiple different violations constantly.
You can give us
And
a list.
as a board member, you should be ashamed of yourself because you're supposed to uphold the property values for us and go around, and if you see something, you shouldn't be having somebody call somebody. You clearly can see it. If you see it, it's a violation, you should be acting on that. That's the first question. The second question is, I'd like to know on the board, who has access to the cameras in this community at their house or on their phone?
I do.
Okay, who else?
I do.
You do?
I do.
Who else? I want to know, you do too? I want to know why, and I was in law enforcement for 31 years, okay? Why? That's not put in here in a secure building, and why you have access to it. Who's coming and going, watching these cameras in this place?
For when the gates are down?
That's the
When
only
people
reason.
are the gates down.
We have plenty of people, Scott, we have plenty of people that report when the gates are down, so that's not a good excuse.
So I manage the security,
Okay,
configuration, technology, and also the updates,
Okay.
and making sure the encryption protocols are correct.
so that's your
That's my
job,
job.
that's your job, and I don't have a problem with that. But it should still be up here. It should be in this building and it should be secure.
It is, but they still have to have access in order to investigate.
He has access at his house. He told me he does. So does his son. His son watches it. He watches it. That's not right.
So they are looking for infractions in evidence when they're doing the evidence collection.
For
And
what, for censures that they don't send for the last
so when
year?
the gate's getting broken, when this crash happened out
You
here.
put it out here, you can turn around and look right on the camera, come up here.
That's still access to the cameras, same system.
You can come back.
I'm not playing.
Are we gonna be using that,
Louder, please.
are we gonna be using those cards for voting again this year? Or are we,
Yes, we are.
so they'll be counted by the machine?
Yes.
Yes.
Cool, thank you.
In the back.
I just have, just a couple questions. Scott, did you say, August 26th, Lakes, the company, what's the name of the company you're talking with?
Mo, hang on a second. I've got an appointment with him. Ask me next question. Go to the next one while I look for it.
Well, and the time, did you have
I
time?
paused it.
Go ahead.
Okay, all right, so while he's looking
It's
at
Mo something out of Kansas City.
I'm sorry,
Mo, Missouri.
Mo, Missouri?
Yeah, hang on, I'll send you the information when
Okay.
And
And
it's on
then
the
you
26th, they're coming.
The
They just-
26th at what time?
I don't know, we haven't set the time yet.
Okay. And then you said something about Spring Lake, you need to like.
There's a
some
couple
stuff?
things on Spring Lake on the inside, the wall, we need to, there's cracks, and we need to paint it.
So do we just, like, with a roller?
That's what the inspector said, you clean it out and use an epoxy paint.
Okay, I can volunteer to help do that.
There we go, it's tough to climb in there.
And then, Jim, you said 14 letters were sent out for censures. Do we not have a rules committee anymore that oversees that and gets that started? No, so we don't have that. And then I have an idea about lot owners. Do we have a list of active lot owners versus inactive ones? We're trying to have like lot owners that come in and get stickers and, you know, for the boats or all stickers and stuff like that. So I would consider them active lot owners.
I have a list 28 pages long of inactive lot owners. I do not have a list of the active lot owners,
Okay.
but I will work on getting it.
Okay, I just wondered if we were able to do that. Okay, that was it.
I don't think you can see you.
Yeah. It's Michael? Is that right? So I just have a question for you, follow-up, and I'm sorry. So I'm on the security committee also, and I'm also contracted as the computer technician for the facility here. Can you explain to me why you have a concern with those people?
Well, first of all, you have LPR cameras, license plate reader cameras,
Okay,
and they go to Jefferson County. Jefferson County has, in case they need to go, they can see who's coming and coming from the gates. Okay, the rest of these people, Scott had a conversation going back 6 months ago when I was down the beach, and his son walked up.
yeah,
And you want to go deeper there. They walk up, they got pistols on their side.
okay,
Number one. Number two, they start talking about, oh, you should be on the security team, you're an ex-policeman. Then from there, then from there, he continues on, and he says, well, yeah, we can monitor what's going on, and who's coming to the gates and who's not. I have an issue with that. You're a law enforcement officer, you got a psychological evaluation. People know law enforcement officers go to the police academy. You got people here that are lay people that shouldn't be monitoring some lady that lives here and her husband's a businessman, monitoring what they're doing, or businesses or people that are coming and going from houses. People have that right. The police should have that. If the head of security wants it, I don't have a problem with that, or the president. But it should be in the security system. You shouldn't just have lay people on their phones walking around showing people stuff.
okay, so currently the LPR, I believe if I'm right, is only the flock camera, yes? So it's only the flock camera which only does go back, you know?
We don't have access to that.
They don't have access to the flock camera data. They just put the flock data in, the flock camera in. So that data with the LPR, with the license plates, are going back straight to the police officials and not going in here. We don't have access to the flock camera here. To the security cameras here, I understand your concern, but he is also, both of them are also part of the security team. And I could see for the future, if everybody wants to know and voice this in the future, maybe we should look at that a little bit. But I have a whole concern myself about a security team that has meetings monthly and are going to discuss issues. It has to be vetted properly to where there's going to have to be some privacy there. And
both Scott and Matt are part of the security committee, along with Dave and myself and Dan. So there are individuals that have it. I'm appreciative that you spoke up because it gave me some education there from a legal side, a law enforcement side. So I think this is Dave's last meeting as security, but for the next meeting and going forward, hopefully I will still be on the committee and follow that through, and maybe you can join it too. I'd like to hopefully do.
And I don't have a problem with the head of security, I don't.
Yeah,
The president.
I get it, yeah.
They're looking for gate violations, the gate falls off. What you gonna do is drive up here.
Drive up here?
Real time.
Well, I'm done.
Okay, gentleman in the back.
So on that question of the security, we had an incident back in February where a dog got hit. I reported it. I asked the board to contact me, never did. And I came to a board meeting and asked for the board to elaborate. They said they were looking into it. At this time, 6 months later, I still have not got a report. So if you have it on your phone and you have that access, why can't I have that immediately?
You live on Easy Street?
I do.
Did the FedEx driver hit your dog or
No,
not?
negative. So it was on
We only have cameras access at the gate.
That's exactly it, and I gave you the time, date, and the vehicle. You said you couldn't see it because the camera was not able to see this vehicle.
Some of them, if you look at it, we've got some bad connections, and like last week, a gate knocked off, and you couldn't see the car that did it because with the connection.
Again, my point being to this officer just stated, you have it on your personal phone. I should have had immediate response. Here it is 7 months later.
I didn't have it then.
You didn't have it then?
No, sir, we just got it not too long ago, sorry.
I will back that, sir, that's true, I'm sorry, but that is true. It hasn't been for a long time that they have access to that. But I do also think that a response could have come back to you that we don't have access to them. I'll go both sides for that, okay?
Can you explain that?
Okay.
That at least you should have been responded to, that they don't have access, they looked into it, there's no way for them to identify the car at that particular time. Systems are down. It is internet, it is technology. As much as I want to think it's 100% foolproof, never goes down or anything like that, it does.
Understandable.
You should have had a response.
You're looking for volunteers to work the election. Last year, I worked the election. I witnessed some things up here that I never thought it would be possible to see in an election. It was appalling to me that people running for a seat on the board were standing out in the parking lot and trying to intimidate people, shoving their phone in people's faces and doing things like that. So I thought, well, okay, they have a right to be out here electioneering, and I came inside and did my job. I was in here not very long, and pretty soon a couple of those people that were out in the parking lot came in here to go to the bathroom because it was hot outside. Well, okay, I can appreciate that. But then they walked right in here and sat right over here where all these people were sitting at these tables trying to read their ballots and mark their things, and they started to talk in really loud voices, and I had to say, shh. And then finally they just wouldn't quit, so I had to say, get out of here. And then they had an altercation with a board member outside the office. And I thought, oh, okay, that's all over. And then, at the very end of the night, 7 o'clock, when the polls closed, they come storming in here with their cameras. We're filming ya, we're filming ya. We're gonna make sure we're here securing the ballots right. And, for God's sake, they had intimidated Haley so bad that she could not get the lock to work. And they stayed until they could see her walking in there, lock it, come out and lock it, and then they took off. Now that's appalling. To think that somebody's stuffing the ballot box. And so I want to know what you people on the board are going to be doing to improve this process, and how you're going to keep my vote secure.
The ballot cards will be the same as they were last year. It will be counted by the electronic counting machine. And
so you're just going to say there's no problem with the bad behavior that several members of this board made. You're going to let them come up here and sit in the chair, keep their mouth shut.
You had your time.
Well, it's appalling.
Yes, ma'am, it probably was. But there's nothing I can do about it at this
Well, I
point.
know, but don't let it happen.
Gentlemen, the hand raised.
Sure. One, got help. I was a volunteer. Ink or pencil on the ballots? What is it going to be?
Very young.
Pencil.
I mean, there are people on the board who gave us help about pencil. So just want to make that point. And my second question is to Dave Stolick. You threw out $200,000, $100,000 for this road, $100,000 for this road. Where's that money coming from? Is it out of roads and lakes and beaches, or where's it coming from?
So I think John can help us with this. We have some extra money for roads that from the DNR led, that we help with this.
Yeah, over and above the roads budget that was approved, from the past boards, we were repositioning some money to take care of security items, some lake items that this board chose not to proceed with. So there's about, it was in the newsletter, I think it's $527,000 that was carried in for those projects. Since those projects aren't happening, we reallocated some of that money to roads, lakes, and some security money. So the 527 we spent, the majority of that money is going towards roads.
Is that road?
Lady in the back.
Yes, so I have a question back to security. So when he said something that other board members have, anybody puts a code in the gate or cameras, other board members have access to it because they're on security. I'm not okay with that. I don't care if the head of security has it, but that's like somebody at Lakes and Beaches, all those committee members having access to it. I don't like that. If the security guy has it, that's fine in the office, but I don't think other board members should be having and saying, oh, look, I have, anybody that puts a code in, anybody that has visitors, I see it, and I've been told this by somebody who has this on his phone. Anybody has a code, I see it. Anybody comes in, I see it. Okay, what? No. Like, it's okay, you're head of security, yes, you in the office should have it. I know I'm not at my 2 minutes, but it just makes me uncomfortable as well. So I'm with this guy. Like, I don't care that he's on the security team and he's on the security committee. You can have 2 people on the security committee. That doesn't mean they should all have access to what the head guy has, or
Yeah.
the office has.
So I can actually give you a reasoning to that. So I'm also handling the technology piece of it. And it's supposed to be explicitly reactionary when there needs to be an investigative something or other. Something happens, right? We need to be able to cross-reference times with the gate access, cross-reference if gate codes are being used wrongfully.
But how immediate is that where you need 4 or 5 other people? If it's a police officer, he's gonna come straight to you or
There's 3 of us that have it.
which is Clark and his son and you?
And, yeah,
So there's 4 of you?
correct.
And okay.
Correct. And a lot of times Scott and Matt will run the forensics and the evidence collection for me. And then we discuss it in our meetings. So.
Okay, can I address?
And I only look to see if the gates are down. I don't care about the rest.
I don't agree.
Can I address that answer?
James, can I answer a past question? Scantron is the number 2 pencil.
Number 2
And
pencil.
You take your ballot and you put it in the locked box, which we do not have the key to on premises here during the election. The key comes back after the voting's done, and then the box is unlocked by the attorney.
Barb?
Yes. My question is for the Lakes and Beaches Chair. What are the hours at the beach?
Well, in the past, I think it was dusk to dawn. They changed it to 10. I've had a lot of people.
What are they now?
They haven't ran nobody off. I guess it's 10 o'clock.
With did you tell me you told me they were 24/7?
No, well, if somebody wants to go down there and they're a resident and they work and they need to go to the beach, I'm not gonna tell
Didn't you
them.
also tell me they are 7 or 10 to 7, but you are not going to
Well, I mean,
enforce that?
When you go down there and they argue with you and they say they live here and
That's
they
not
belong
the
here,
point.
they don't have bottles
That's
and
not
they
the
don't have,
point.
and they have a sticker.
Not the point.
Okay, from now
Are you
on,
going to enforce it or not?
yes ma'am, from now on I will, and I'll refer to you as the reference for that. I can keep people out of here.
You go right ahead, I can keep them off the beach.
I'm sure there's a place where I can find this information, but I just wanted to ask, with the upcoming repairs that are coming to roads and things like that, how do we know which roads are on the schedule to get done? Is there a place we can go to find that?
I can go over that list with you.
All of us.
Yeah.
All of it. Okay, well, I'll
Can you put one out?
Yeah, I mean, can you just put it out so that we can see it without,
I think we could.
you have to have 400
Email
conversations?
blast.
It's a security issue, you can't share that. I'd like to have my street done.
That is supposed to be done.
What street are you on?
Lady in the back.
Magnolia.
Yes, I was gonna ask about the culvert repair on Peachtree. Is that project done?
On Peachtree? Yeah.
On what?
Peachtree, it opened up on Monday.
No, that's Colin that opened up.
Colin.
Peachtree's been open. There's a little hump there. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, there's the debris from the woods that was all tore out and is just shoved up against the rest of the woods.
Okay, well,
It's dying.
okay.
There's a big, huge drop off to the right that's full of water right now. That's about 8 feet down, maybe 6 to
Okay.
8 feet down from the road.
That's always been there, you just couldn't see it before there was brush covering it.
No. I'm just saying, there's a cone there on one side, so I'm not sure what the cone is for, but I'm just saying, I'm praying that's not done.
We'll go back and look at it, but I think that's the original terrain and they don't have the
terrible.
brush there.
The brush is gone.
The brush is going
I'm
on
not,
the
can
repair.
you tell me who did that repair?
Doyle Kirshner worked
Doyle
on it.
Kirshner?
Is it just an individual?
No, it's a company, he does big work. He's the same one that did Column Drive. He does a lot of work around here.
His company.
Do you know what that's gonna be like when you try to drive a snowplow over that?
It's not gonna snow next year.
Well, just saying. It needs to be fixed.
I will bring it to his attention.
Mr. Arnold.
Yeah, I got a couple of questions from Scott. Hey, Scott, I got a couple of questions for you. You and your son, you guys run around with pistols at night? Did I hear that right?
I carry every time I go. It's the Missouri state law. We're licensed to carry anybody.
Well,
can carry.
I am too. I got a couple of permits. I guess I'm going to start carrying my quad.
I do.
Hey,
That's your right,
It's
pal.
all right, sir. Yeah, you're sure? Yeah, you're right, but I'm going to start carrying.
It's all right. It's all
Okay,
right. I deal with a lot of people all
I got
night.
another question. Now, on that spillway on Severance, Winter Lake, are you basically keeping the same dimensions of the spillway?
So when this subdivision was built, all 4
I
lanes.
know, I know. I'm asking right now, are you keeping the same dimensions of the concrete spillway? Not
If DNR recommends it, yes, we are.
You got something in mind, because you're already talking about cutting out the concrete and a 4-inch lip?
All of it will be going back through specs of what they require, what they expect from us, what they want from us.
Who's this? DNR?
DNR and the people that originally designed that.
Do you guys even know why it's washed out? Because it's too small.
So.
Anyway, okay, I got one more question.
We had Joe
Now-
Pellet come up and he addressed everybody.
I got one more question. I got 30 seconds. Now, with regards to the empty lots, I'm a leftover from All In from last fall, and I would be gladly to double the assessments of everybody in this room. Now, but that's 15 seconds. And if you double assessments, you won't be concerned about the empty lot keepers.
I have
In previous years, when people ran for the board, a pet peeve of mine was we always had a zillion people who I had never seen before. They came out of the woodwork, they ran for the board, they never attended a BOA meeting. They never helped at the polls. They never helped for anything for the community, and all of a sudden they're running for the board. I would like to see how many of the people who are running for the board right now are in this room, and I see them at POA meetings all the time. And since I don't know some of the other ones, maybe we got some other ones here, can our people who are running for the board stand and say, I'm running for the board? They usually do it at meetings.
Can you introduce yourselves?
Introduce yourself, yes.
I want you to stand up again and introduce yourself. Is that okay, Jim?
They usually do it every year.
Go ahead. They can introduce themselves and then I'll talk.
Okay.
Names.
Go ahead and introduce yourself. People that stood up.
The four candidates.
My name is Michael Martin. I live at 9998 East Vista.
What's your name? Michael Martin.
I'm Denny Schwantner. I'm at on Warford Drive. I've been a lot owner since 1988. Homeowner since 2011.
Elaine Hayes, and I live on Morning Glory Drive. Been here since 2009.
Deb Anderson, we bought in 1999, and we moved into our house that we built in 2002.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, thank you.
Oh, that's all right. I appreciate everybody who is on the board. It is a thankless job.
Go home.
I've done it other places. It's not easy. My question for the board, President probably, I feel like this year we have not placed board members according to their abilities. And if we're going to have this major funding and all this, I want somebody that understands money. I want somebody that understands construction. I want somebody that, there's certain things that I think are better fit.
Security.
Because I don't want to set up a board member to fail. And so I want that to be considered. Thank you. Very good.
Yes, sir.
I got a question. Earlier we talked about Matt Clark, your son.
Yes, sir.
He's on the committee. Is Matt the property owner in Raintree?
Yep, he's on the title of my house and my trust.
He's on your title?
He's gonna own my house when I'm dead and gone, he'll be there.
Is he currently an owner or is he a trustee?
It doesn't matter, I'm not going into my personal stuff with you, sir.
Well, you brought it up.
And he has access to the cameras is what I'm understanding.
Yeah, he's on the security.
We have people.
How about if we don't do security no more and I'll let you guys all do it?
Yeah, how much are we paying CPM to manage our property per year?
They're not managing it.
Well,
Manage the office.
They manage the business.
how much we paying them?
100 or so.
And it goes up $10,000 every year too, right? Plus they take 2% of everybody's assessment.
That's false.
Huh?
That's false.
They don't take 2%?
Okay. Flat fee.
Okay.
So we pay them $36,000 a year for this tools, services, financial accounting package, which includes the assessment, the bill pay, the financial reports, and the office manager, Mindy, and the office employee, Haley, with their taxes, benefits, that's $110 a year.
Last question.
40 grand less than we paid with the office previously.
But they work 2 days a week.
You said they work for us, we don't work for them.
Mindy works, she thought I was here, but she does a lot of stuff for us every day. I talk to her regularly, and she does lots of stuff.
She's only contractually obligated.
Okay.
She does a
This
lot.
gentleman has the floor right now.
Sorry.
Okay. Somebody said before that they work for us and we don't work for them. If that's true, why can't we pay our assessments right there? Why do we have to mail them to Arizona?
What's the difference?
What's the difference? Because if I give it here, I know they have it. If I mail it, what if it gets lost in the mail?
I believe there is an answer to that, but I can't remember what it
But why
was.
can't we pay it up here?
There's a reason. If you ask Mindy, she'll tell you.
I don't care about Mindy. These people, no, they're working for us.
It's a CPM rule of something. I learned when I was
The
a-
discussion is between the audience and the board. If you want to have sideline discussions, that's fine, just do them someplace else. Lady in the back that's standing,
I just couldn't hear her.
gentleman in the back.
First off, Mike Jordan, I was on Lakes and Beaches for a dozen years. I'm currently on the ACC for the last 3 years. I want to thank you guys for your time. It is a very thankless job. I also want to commend you for taking ballot 5 item off.
Yes.
I would also strongly recommend ballot item 1, comparing that to golf carts. It's just not the same. No. My top speed on my golf cart is 20 miles an hour. My ATV goes 50 miles an hour. UTVs can go up to 70 miles an hour. They just don't belong here in Raintree.
Scott's got thick skin, he should. Scott does a lot for our community. I think out of everybody that was on the lot last year when I was a newbie, just moved in here, I listened to what you had to say and I believed in you. Okay? Here we go a year later, I look back and I've attended numerous meetings. Scott, out of everybody up there, and Kent are the only two people that I see constantly in the community. I know Scott gets a lot of flack and Scott has issues. No, but and I'm not going light on you. If he spent as much time bantering on Facebook about food trucks as he did about getting the weeds and the other lakes and stuff secured and in a beautiful state, that's why we moved here, we'd be better off. I think it was admirable that he built this little thing to wash your feet out, but it's kind of a flop. First off, was ACC contacted and then did they get plans to what he was going to do? Second of all, it's got yellow tape around it. There are no handbars for anybody to walk up it. And it looks like a BMX bike track where you go straight down the hill. So it's going to cost us more money. I don't know what it costs us, but it's more money to either put stairs into place or to extend it further out into the beach or knock it down and just do away with it.
John's gonna fix it. When he did it, he didn't have the right form. It was supposed to go out 9 foot and be a half a turn. They messed up. I wasn't there that day.
But if the ACC would have looked at the...
Well, they didn't.
That's what I'm saying, if we would have had
Well,
some...
John was the one of our vendor, and John can just work for us to do that. I'm sorry it didn't happen that way. And he's gonna fix it. He's gonna put a railing up, and it's on John.
My last question, you're on the hot seat anyway. This past weekend, there was numerous people were out talking to different people, and it came up. So I'm only bringing it up because I need to know if it's true
We
or
only
not.
have 5 seconds left.
Do you have a car parked underneath this building, and you have 2 more that are at the...
I got a car under the building, yes, sir.
And you have 2 more at the main shop? You don't?
No, I got a Grand Victoria sitting outside the shop.
Why do you have a vehicle parked outside?
Okay.
Because I do a lot of maintenance, I just stuck it there, I'm sorry. I don't get paid for what I do.
That's enough. Person in the back.
So we're talking about security. I have a lot, I'm on Easy Street, main drag. So we're talking about security. How do I get people to slow down? Do I call the office or do I call Jefferson County?
Call the police, we're not the enforcers.
Correct. So I've talked to county and they've come out, but they don't actually patrol it. They cannot, so I've been told, they cannot give a ticket. They can only give a certain citation. So if we're talking about security, ATVs and golf carts, how do we get these people to slow down on Easy Street?
So one of the things that we...
Yeah, I know it's not going to happen, but I entertain the answer.
So one of those topics that come up in our committee meetings, our security committee meetings, and we're looking into having a conversation and a partnership with Jeff County to maybe come in for patrols, maybe on weekends when it becomes busy, We haven't had further discussion yet, but it is definitely on a topic on there because that came up with.
So would they be able, I'm sorry to cut you, I apologize. Would they be able to write a actual citation, a ticket?
If they are patrolling and they
So
see-
therefore, then that opens it up as a county road?
So if we broker a partnership and they do patrol
We
within
don't
the
have
environment
roads.
and they see an infraction that is, give me the
Tickable.
term I'm looking for here, that
Tickable.
is, right. They can do a citation based on that because they are on patrol if they see that infraction.
Okay.
I don't know to what degree, that's part of the conversations we're gonna be having at some point.
Thank you.
That has come up.
Yes,
To go along with the gentleman about removing the ballot one, why would we allow something that's just gonna tear up our already beat up roads already? Why would we let that happen? Should be removed.
yes, sir.
Did I hear Scott say earlier about some kind of something behind Spring Lake to park RVs and that kind of
Yes,
stuff?
sir. We have property down behind there. We've got 13 acres. And Mr. Urchin, when he comes back from vacation, the Jefferson County Survey is going to take a look at it. And it's really feasible. It does not flood. We've been down there multiple times. And there's room there to put a storage lot. And if we make it a co-op, to where that way the county does not get involved, we'll be able to put up a lot, a fence, a security camera, and then we can enforce our rules because we'll have a place for people to take their trailers.
How close is that to somebody's home?
It's not at all, it's behind, it's on the map that I can show you. Most of the lots owned are by Jefferson County. There's only one house that touches it, and the majority of the lots are owned by Jefferson County for non-tax payment. That's where it's at, it's behind Spring Lake. You can look at it on the county map if we have it here, but we're gonna get some surveys and some numbers together for it. And it will be a co-op, it would only be for people that live in Raintree or own lots in Raintree. And it would be reduced more than half of what it would be somewhere else. And it would pay for itself.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah, I want to ask, why is it that we can't collect any money for the people that are lot owners? Why is that we can't get them any money from them? Can't we go to court, put a lien against their property? Why can't we get any money from them?
We've had several liens. The liens only go into effect if they sell the property.
Right,
If they don't pay the taxes on it, it doesn't matter.
okay. So it doesn't go against their credit, it doesn't go against anything, it doesn't do anything to destroy their,
We are going to start levying against their credit, but other than that, there's not a lot we can do.
really?
Part of it is the cost of the attorneys to do it, double, triple what they owe us. And even if you do get the attorney in it, there's no guarantee you're gonna get collected anyway. So it's kind of throwing good money
So you
against
can't, so
bad.
you can't even have them pay the attorney fees too, along with everything else?
Yeah,
If they don't,
if you can
pay,
collect
they
it.
don't pay the attorney to see them. So we lose all the way around.
Seize the lot. Have Raintree seize the lot.
I don't know if that's,
And then we have to
I don't know if
pay
that's
the
legal,
But if they owe you money,
Then we
seize
pay
the
the
lot.
I'm going to stay with the people that raise their hand. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
If the board's not gonna do anything about ballot item 1, I would like to ask that you at least run it by your attorney. Because I think I presented you with enough facts to state that ATVs are prohibited on Jefferson County roads. And if it's on the ballot item with the wording that you have used, you have misled every property owner in here. And therefore, it should be voided from the ballot.
I did run it by the attorney, and he was driving his UTV at the time on the littered road.
Well,
Last one, two questions. Okay, you guys are talking about storage area. So who's going to provide security, the fencing for that storage area?
We're just starting to investigate.
Okay,
We don't know.
question. Now, who's on the board is carrying a weapon?
It's none of your business.
Anybody carry, huh?
It's none of your business.
Not your business.
It's none of your business.
Oh, you guys carry it?
It's none of your business.
So can I carry it in here?
Sure.
Meeting is
You can still
adjourned.
carry it.
I got two.
You don't have to-